I'm sure you've all seen videos on social media, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, to be honest, any social media platform, where social media influencers are really living their absolute best lives. We see influencers traveling the world, buying these luxury cars, buying designer clothes, going to these exclusive events, buying homes, and all types of stuff. We all know that in this day and age, social media actually has the ability to drastically change your life if you play your cards well. But what is it really like being a social media influencer? Behind all the luxury, behind all the trips, behind all the designer clothes and all of this stuff, what actually goes into being a social media influencer? And is it actually as easy as people think it is? When it comes to content creation, I feel like most people are under the impression that people who blew up on YouTube or people who made it off of social media are people who are lucky and people who are able to pretty much just hit the YouTube, TikTok, or the Instagram lottery. And I know sometimes it may seem that way because we've all seen people who created 1 or 2 videos, their videos blew up and it just changed their lives forever. But for the most part, for most content creators, and if you're a creator, go ahead and let me know down below if you agree with what I'm about to say. But for most creators, that is not how the journey went. For most creators, a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of determination, and a lot of other things, which I will share in this video, was needed in order for them to see the success that they are seeing today. But today's question that I have for you is, do you have what it takes to be a social media influencer? In this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys a few qualities or a few things that I think you absolutely need to have and you absolutely need to understand. No negotiations if you want to be a successful YouTuber. Now I have YouTube playlists and stuff where you can go and learn more about editing and about optimizing if that's what you're more interested in. But in this video, I'm gonna be focusing on the qualities, the things that you need to have within yourself outside of editing softwares and cameras, the things that you need to have within you if you want to be successful on YouTube or on any other social media platform. All right, so quick disclaimer before we start. Today's video is going to be a discussion. I'm going to be sharing stories. I'm going to be sharing things that I've learned on my journey, and I'm going to be talking a lot. So if you're looking for a more bullet point type of YouTube video where you could just get straight to the point and where there's minimal talking, you could go ahead and click off of this video right now. The next disclaimer is that this video is not to discourage anybody from becoming a social media influencer. This is just to expose you to some of the realities that aren't really highlighted and just to prepare you so you know what to expect and so you could have the best chance at succeeding on this platform or any other social media platform. If you want a video that is going to sugarcoat everything, I'm sure there are many other channels that offer that for you. But in this video and on this channel, I'm going to keep it real with you. So if you want to learn the truth, if you want to know what it's really like, and if you want to give yourself the best chance at succeeding on this platform, then go ahead and smash on that like button before we get started. But if you want everything sugar-coated, you can click off of this video and go find someone that will sugarcoat everything for you. So what's the first thing that's needed if you want to succeed on YouTube or on social media? And I think we have all heard this before, but I can't make a video about growing on social media or being a social media influencer without mentioning this point. So please come in and pay attention. Consistency is key on social media, period. No negotiations, like it or not, that's up to you. But if you want to see results on social media, you have to be consistent. And here's why. There's a story that I read somewhere, and I can't remember exactly where I read it, but if you guys know the story that I'm talking about, let me know down below what book that is from. There's a story that I read where there were these people and they were digging for gold. They were digging for months and months and they never got the gold that they were looking for. Eventually they got frustrated and they decided to quit. And the same day that they quit, somebody else came in that spot that they had been digging for months And guess what? That person found the gold within, I think, an hour or a day of working, when the people who were digging previously did all the work for months on end. When it comes to YouTube, when it comes to social media, you never know what video is going to blow. I have had videos on social media that were up for months that I thought were doomed. They weren't getting any traction, any attention, any views. Those videos were up for months and they probably had a few hundred views, and out of nowhere, the algorithm just picked them up and just started throwing them in people's faces. And those videos are now some of the most viral videos that I've had on my channel, with over 1 million views. Consistency is needed for you to stay relevant. You don't want your viewers to forget about you. You don't want to disappear for a year or disappear for 2 years and think that you're going to come back on the platform and get the same attention. Now, there are some huge YouTubers, some bigger YouTubers who have loyal fans like that will watch their content no matter what. But when you are growing on YouTube, and when you're not yet at that autopilot level where you're so big to the point where no matter what you do, you know you're always going to get a certain amount of views, if that is not you, you're going to need to be consistent to stay relevant to your viewers, because if they're not watching you, they will watch somebody else. You want to stay consistent because you want to get continuous views, which will continue to make you grow. You want to stay relevant and stay connected with your subscribers and your viewers, and you never know what video is going to blow. The video that you expect to do the least numbers, what might be the ones that do the most. And I have seen this time and time again from my own personal experience on my channel. The next thing that you're going to need if you want to be successful on YouTube is determination and discipline. And once again, not only for YouTube, but any other social media platform. Determination is needed to keep that fire within you, to stay motivated. But discipline is needed for those days where you're not feeling determined, when you're not feeling motivated, when you don't feel like doing anything. You're gonna have to maintain that level of discipline to keep going despite wanting to do it, despite the results, despite what anybody says. One of the realities that a lot of YouTubers or content creators, period, are gonna have to face at some point on their YouTube channel, which is usually the beginning when you're, trying to get your feet off of the ground, is dealing with putting in long hours and a lot of work and a lot of creativity into creating something that you think is great, sharing it with the world, and feeling like nobody is seeing it or nobody cares to see it. But it doesn't necessarily have to be in the beginning. I have grown tremendously from when I first started on YouTube, and I still struggle with numbers. I'm still trying to get to that point where I can kind of be more autopilot and not feel like I have to work so much when it comes to YouTube. I still am at a point where I have a lot of subscribers, but sometimes videos don't do as well as I would like them to do. But I still have to maintain that level of discipline. I still have to keep my eyes on the prize, and I still have to keep going despite my results, because what am I gonna, I've come this far, am I gonna quit now? And I feel like that should be your mentality, period. If you've already posted one video on your YouTube channel, then you've gone too far to quit. You've already done the work, you've already come out, you've already developed the courage that's needed for you to get behind the camera, as uncomfortable as that is. Speak to the camera as though it's a person. Edit the video. Listen to yourself speak, which can also be an uncomfortable experience. I know that in the beginning, it was very uncomfortable for me to hear my own voice. You still pushed through all of that and put the video out. At that point, you've done the hardest, and there's literally no point for you to go back. So people are going to sleep on you. You are not going to be pushed as much by YouTube once you're a new YouTuber and you're not really getting numbers like that. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard in the beginning, and you're going to have to, once again, have the discipline and the determination and the motivation to continue to keep going despite the results that you're getting, despite how quickly you're getting results, and despite the noise that is being made outside, because people are gonna talk, people are going to laugh. One of the biggest issues that I see people have when it comes to YouTube, because I know a lot of people who want to create YouTube channels, they just cannot get over obsessing what other people are going to say. And that's because people are going to talk. You are going to have low vibrational, low self-esteem, keyboard warrior dusties that are going to come on social media, on your social media. They're going to try to shame you. They're going to try to bully you. They're going to try to overly critique you. And I say overly because critiquing is not necessarily a bad thing, because there is good or constructive criticism, but there are going to be people who are going to criticize you without giving you a suggestion on how to be better. And that's because they don't want you to be better. They want to tear you down, they want to dim your light, and they want to reduce you to their level. And one thing you're going to realize is that a lot of the times the people who are going to be critiquing the work that you do on the field are people who have never smelt the field. They know nothing about the field. Those are always the people who are going to have the most to say. So to that I say, keep your eye on the prize, keep your mind on the goal, and continue to persevere despite all the noise being made by all the dusties and the little keyboard warriors around. Okay, I really went on a tangent there. The next thing you're going to need if you want to succeed on YouTube is a learning mindset. You have to be open to the idea that you are constantly going to be learning no matter how big you get on YouTube. There are some people who they just have that energy where it's like they don't really need to put much into their editing. They don't need to put as much work or as much time into their production because they just have that magnetic energy where they can have webcam quality and shitty sound quality, but people are just attracted to them and people just listen to them no matter what. But if you are a person who wants to improve on your video quality, you want to get better, you want your videos to be more enjoyable, then you're going to have a learning mindset. But not only when it comes to the quality of your videos, when it comes to just learning and understanding YouTube. YouTube's algorithm is complicated. Their policies are always changing, the algorithm is always changing, and you're always having to restudy and restudy the algorithm. I think 2020 was like the year where I felt like I had it down packed. My videos were doing very well at that point, and then there was a change in the algorithm that kind of set me back, and I'm now at a point where instead of getting discouraged by the results that I'm getting, and I'm sorry, the sun keeps going in and out, I'm really trying to study the algorithm and study my analytics, my YouTube analytics, to see where I went wrong, what I can do better, what videos were doing well, what is it that I did in the videos doing well that I didn't do in the videos that aren't doing good, and what is it that I did in the videos that aren't doing good that may have driven subscribers away, caused them to unsubscribe, caused them to click off of the video, or caused them to not click on the video altogether. But I think to back that up, another quality that you need to have is passion. And I know that this sounds corny, but there's a reason why YouTubers tell you to not go into YouTube solely for the money. I will never be the YouTuber to tell you to not focus on money or to not make money one of your goals when you are attempting to become a YouTuber or a social media influencer. So much work goes into influencing that it shouldn't be done for free. I know people are under the impression that being a content creator isn't real work, but when you actually become a content creator and you see and understand how much work goes into content creation, you will understand why compensation is definitely needed, and you should definitely make it one of your long-term goals to make money off of social media. Becoming a YouTuber or becoming a TikToker or becoming an Instagrammer shouldn't be something that you want to do for the sole purpose of making money, and let me explain why that is. The reason why love and passion for the content that you're creating is so important is because that is part of the things that is going to keep you going, one of the things that's going to keep you determined, one of the things that's going to keep you motivated as a YouTuber. For the most part, you are not going to start making thousands of dollars a month after you become a content creator. It has happened, but for the most part, that is just not the way it goes. And you're going to have the love and the passion for your content to be able to look back at the content you create despite the fact that it's not really benefiting you in any way, it's not making you any money, you're not really getting any return on the time that you invested into creating the content. But you're gonna have that love for what it is you do to be able to still look at your content, see how far you've come, how much effort you put into your content, how much value you offered in your content, and be happy with that. I am a human being and I find myself comparing myself to other content creators all the time. And it's because content creation is something that's so public. It's not something that can be hidden. Other people's results are right in your face for you to see. And it's very easy for you to get into that lack mindset or that low vibrational space where you now start doubting your self-worth, doubting your craft, doubting what it is that you do because you're not getting the results that other people are getting. And sometimes I sit down with my glass of wine and I start clicking on old videos. I can look at the content, I can see how far I've come, how much better my videos are now, but I could actually listen to the information that's being offered, how valuable it is, how passionate I was when I was creating the video, how excited I was to get it out. And I could just look at it and think to myself, you know what? Whoever lands on this video is going to be lucky because this video is jam-packed with value. It's jam-packed with information and I love it. That's gonna have to be enough for you, especially in the beginning, so that you can keep going.
Everything is locked because if you forget and you hang the bag, what's gonna happen is all the saline or all your fluid is gonna run out. My needle is completely in. It's easier for me to reach my gauze and just slide it forward. Then I can push the hub up and retract my needle. So definitely do it that way as opposed to what I did before.
The next thing you're going to need as a content creator is patience. As much as people don't want to hear it, it is one of those things that you're going to need. Like I said before, everybody else's success is right in our faces for us to see. And as human beings, it is natural for us to compare ourselves to other people. And you have to have the maturity and you have to have the faith to snap yourself out of that mentality and understand that everything happens in divine timing. You really never know what tomorrow brings. And so you have to snap yourself out of that lack mindset, that comparison mindset where you are using other people to measure success. And you have to have the maturity to snap yourself right the hell back into your lane instead of having the mentality where you're going to stop watering your own grass to stare at other people and what other people are doing with their grass while your grass is dying, if that makes sense. There's this book that I listened to, this audiobook that you guys can actually find here on YouTube. And this book has absolutely changed my life. It is called The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. And in there, she has a quote that I love. It is probably my favorite quote of all time. And that quote is, "As the needle in the compass is true to the north, what is mine by divine right is true to me. I am the north." Everything happens for a reason. You may be under the impression that somebody else's life is better, but you never know what's going on behind closed doors. Social media is very much fake, and so you should not compare yourself to anybody. God will never give somebody else your blessing. Your blessing will always come at the right time, and you just have to have the patience and the faith to believe that, the determination, the discipline to continue to persevere through that, and the passion and the love for your content, for the message that you want to put out there, to continue to make it somewhat enjoyable through the unenjoyable times, if that makes sense. So what is it really like to be a social media influencer? Being a social media influencer, especially in the beginning, means being a one-man army. It means being the host, the producer, the director, the videographer, the editor, the manager, and more as one person. That could be a mental test that nobody thinks about. Being a social media influencer could be dealing with people trying to downplay your worth, downplay your craft. This can be your friends, this can be your family, who once again are so uncomfortable with the fact that you have the courage to go after what they know they don't have the courage to do. And it can cause them to try to shame you, try to downplay you, try to make you question your self-worth. It can even cause them to isolate you. Sometimes you can see that your friends turn away from you. They stop talking to you out of nowhere. They start acting funny. They start being passive aggressive with you. But let's forget families and friends for a second. Sponsors. Sponsors are going to reach out to you at a certain point, and they are going to try to make you feel like your prices aren't worth what it is that you're creating. They're going to try to make you feel like you are overselling yourself, like you are not worth that.
And let's be clear here, it really doesn't matter what you charge. You could charge these people 10 cents and they're still gonna try to downsell you to nothing.
They're always going to try to convince you to do free things for them, which can be very frustrating and which can cause you to self-doubt, which can cause you to question yourself and ask yourself, am I even worth what it is that I'm charging? Is my content even worth any type of payment? And my answer to you is yes. Being a content creator can mean low energy and very small amounts of sleep. Nobody wants to talk about how sometimes you may be sitting down in front of your computer for a week trying to edit one single video. Nobody talks about how you can be sitting down behind your computer for 10, 11, 12, 18 hours. And I say 18 hours because I've already been there. 18 hours without eating, without drinking, without going to the bathroom because you're so focused and so zoned in on creating your content. And this can be while you're also trying to juggle your full-time job. So I'm not saying any of this to try to deter or discourage you from trying to become a social media influencer. That's not at all what my intention is here, because once again, we all know the doors that content creation can open for you. So I would never sit here and try to discourage you or try to tell you to not become a creator. All I'm trying to do is expose you to the realities of what it's really like to be a content creator, because I feel like those aren't things that are highlighted. They're not really things that are talked about, and we're always seeing the same things. People are always talking about the good side of content creation, but nobody really talks about the challenges of content creation and how much it can test you. And I know some people may be listening to me thinking that I'm trying to make it a lot deeper than it is, but I challenge you to start and you'll see what I'm talking about. I just want to make it clear that whoever has the dream or the goal of becoming a content creator should most definitely go after it. Never allow what you think other people will think of you to come between you and your goals. Make the decision for yourself and back it up with action and just go get it.